Hello, the internet. Let's just check we're all working. The stream has been very slow in catching up, or I have the wrong link. Alex, I have the wrong link. Let me go back to Discord. No, they're both the wrong link. I'll let Alex sort that out. I'm assuming I'm going out live. And that everyone can see, but unfortunately I can't see chat at the moment. Anyway, we'll just confirm with Alex. Let's while I've got my screen hidden, jump onto the Discords with him. Link is wrong? Question mark. A winky face. He will then swear at the bot. This is part of the reason why I'm writing a new bot, is the thing that we've got in place at the moment is flaky. I think is the best way to describe it. It's flaky. So this will help. Excellent, there I am. I see me. Let's go hide my chat with Alex. Let's go bring up some excuse me, Discords. Let's have a look at my laptop. There we are. Let's go hide OBS. And we should all be ready. Fantastic. Right, last week we overran because I broke it. But it was working again. We got it fixed. So let's go see if we've got any... I've been doing a lot of work this week. Let's go see if we've got any open issues. I also know that we have a new issue. So, for the people who are joining for the first time, I'm Don Davis. I am a Go developer, and I am writing a bot for the Norfolk developers Discord chat channel. We have been building this over 6 sessions so far. We have another 2 scheduled, but I'll keep building it afterwards. And we've got a working bot in place. There's a couple of bugs. The internet has disagreed with my naming, which we need to sort today, I suppose. But it deploys nicely, and it does a few things. Where are we looking? We're looking at issues. Right. There we are. Let's have a look at chat and see. Hi, Kev. Okay. 5 days ago, add HTTP. That was done by Alex, so we'll have a look at that. The race condition I know how to fix. We're not going to bother with the control character at the moment. The control character phrase at the moment. Shutdown command we went. And testing fell by the wayside. Yes, it did. But we picked up a bit of that. So I need to go have a look at this because Alex has raised... Ooh. This is very nicely done. Alex has raised a request. We require an HTTP brackets as endpoint authenticated via a token that accepts JSON representation of Discord message to be sent immediately. Wow. So I'm going to have to learn how to do more fun messages than at the moment. I just have a string that goes out. So this is going to need... just notice didn't detail all the status always assumed to be okay. Perhaps we can discuss a better format. Well, we're not going to discuss it. I'm just going to impose it on you. I'm going to need to look at how we get a better output for the bot, and this is also going to require an HTTP server, possibly HTTPS server. I don't know whether I want to put load balancer in front of this or not. There's cost involved with that. I'm going to need login, security stuff, but thankfully I have libraries for all of this, which is good. So let's get the store sorted. So that bug's gone, and let's build in an HTTP endpoint, because even if we don't get anything on the bot working today, at least it'll be a learning experience for how you do an HTTP server in Go, because it's nice and simple. Right, so let's do this one first. There appears to be a raise condition in the more command, which is issue number 13. So let's go whip across to Go. There's a slight change at the moment in the README because I noticed there was a bug in one of the URLs, which I've just fixed up. And we will load this up. Sadly, I had to reboot my machine before the stream, so things are being slow. We don't care about that. We're not doing that at the moment. No, Idom Davis. Go bot. There we are. Right, so we've done issue 8. Get done. Oh, of course. Git stash. Get done. No. Origin main. Thank you. Git branch. When's the issue 8, was it? Yeah, I can still remember the commands. Excellent. Git new issue 13. Lucky for some. Git stash pop. Get that changed to the readme back in. Whoa. Right, so let's just commit that for now. Just before I forget. Git commit. Number 13 fix build link. Commit that. Let's just go see what's chewing up all my CPU. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. It's just sorting itself out, I think. GoLam was doing some startup-y stuff in the background. Right, so the internet has complained about my store and the provider because the internet is fickle, and Alex stupidly put out a questionnaire, not questionnaire, what I'm looking for, poll, asking people's opinions. So now we have opinions, many of them, and they're opinionated and differing, and apparently provider is also not a good name, which is a shame. I mean, sorry Liam, I liked it. But I was doing some example stuff the other day in a training course, and it suddenly occurred to me that actually what we want here is just to have a getter, a setter, and a putter, a setter, a getter, and a put getter, or a get putter, or something like that. So we're going to split this interface out very quickly, and then I'm going to do something with the interface which allows me to provide a wrapping store, which will just synchronize requests to the stores. So that'll be nice and simple to do. So the first thing we want is, I'm still actually going to, no, I'm going to call it store.go. I'm going to keep the same file though. What do I want? I want refactor. Rename. Store.go. Thank you. Right, so we are now going to have a type putter. No, it's an interface. Can program, absolutely honest. Take that. The reason I'm splitting these out is because it actually means you don't need to take an entire get putter or whatever. Might change it to get set, just because it's getting awkward to say. There's of course some things to break, but we just rename them. Except put is more semantically correct because we are putting a document in the backing store. Leave it as put. So we've got a putter and we've got a getter, which is also an interface. I mean, arguably, we can still call this a provider and just have the internet whinge at me. Let's do that. Let's angle the internet. So that just becomes a putter and a getter. So this is based on the sort of the reader-writer type idiom from the standard library. So that really shouldn't require anything else to change. It's just slightly more idiomatic. And then what we want here is we want a locking store. So we'll go new file locking, and I could do this with Go routines, and it would be fancy and fun and stuff, but I'm not going to, because it's so simple that there's absolutely no need. What we need is a mutex. No, we don't want to read my mutex. We want mutex from sync.mutex, and that's sort of it. Then we want to put on here locking, let's do pointer function, locking, put, just copy this from the store, yoink, yoink, oops, and func looking get. Yoink. Yoink. Okay. The other thing that we're going to want with here is another store, another provider. So provider, and in fact we could make that like that, and then people can just set it. Put some checks in here. Nope. Provider. Thank you. Let's actually return a proper error. Var no provider. It doesn't have. I've been doing Java most of the afternoon as well. Errors.new. What are we going to say here? No provider. No backing provider set. No backing store. Set. There we go. Return. No provider. We need to comment that. Is returned if no. On the locking store as a backing store. Great. Go away. Locking store. We can just steal the no, we can't put a document into a store in a serialized fashion. Single threaded fashion, probably better. Single threaded fashion. R's. Dun, dun, dun. And this one is get a document from the store in a single threaded fashion. Splendid. And then we want to go mutex. L.mutex. Lock and defer L.mutex. Unlock. And then we want to return L. Key and data. So that's going to block our mutex, unlock our mutex after we've returned, and honestly we can just do the same here, except here we're doing get key and I. Splendid. So we have a locking provider. I'm going to start thinking about testing these. I'll start that to get, and can we do testing on this nice and easily? Probably not. But we can do some basic testing. So new file. Right. Doesn't matter. Locking store. No test. Go. We'll just put in the package. Example. Oh, the other thing I want is to have a testing type store. So let's just have a new file memory. Because it's going to be quite useful to just thinking I should need to cut this. It's going to be quite useful to cut from the thing. It's going to be quite useful to have something we can test against, and an in-memory store is going to be nice and easy. So type store struct blah, and this is going to have a map of type string and interface because nice and simple. And we're going to have to do one of the things that the standard library does is this idea of a lazy init. So if I do anything with this map, it's not initialized. And I could put a new function in there, but idiomatically Go or structs want to be usable from empty. So if I put a lazy in, then we can make sure that things are all good. So we can say store spell lazy init. Wow, I really cannot type today. And all we do here is if s.data s.data is nil, s.data is equal to one of those. Marvelous. So now we need our what did I click? Doink. And one of the other things we're going to need, because this is not going to return any errors, and if we need to test something that returns errors, we might actually need an error store as well, which deliberately just errors. So we'll keep that in mind. Why is Chris saying no sound today? Let me just go check something. Blunk, 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 blunk. I'm going to move this up here. Apparently I'm quite quiet. Right. Where is... Ooh. What has gone on with this? My mic is at full volume. I am here. Blum, 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 blum. Checking. No idea what happened there. I just unplugged and replugged the mic, and now my levels are, if anything, a little too high. Is that better? Yes, cover your ears, here comes the gain. Is that better? Your ears, turn the volume down. You've got a volume knob, which you may have cranked all the way up in order to hear me. Yes, that's better. Excellent. Let's go back to so just for Alex's benefit, because I don't particularly want to share our private Discord chats, you're better off actually getting me on the Google doodad. But I noticed it in bot test as well. Okay, fantastic. So let's just move that back down here and have a little recap as to what it was that I was doing and saying if things were really quiet. Yes. And next time, sort of big caps on the YouTube, not 15 minutes in. So I think it's 150% that hurt. What I was saying is basically the internet has complained about the provider thing, but I don't care. I've split out the store, so we've got a getter and a setter type, or a putter and a setter type, or a getter type interface, because we might need those later. And I'm just creating a locking store which allows me to single thread the access to the store, and now I'm creating an in-memory store in order to test all of that, because I don't want to be writing to S3 all the time, and we could do with some tests in our store. Where were we? Oh yes, we were putting stuff in the store. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, and I was saying we might need to put an error store in for testing. We shall see, because this is not going to return any errors, because this is just going to do s.data. No, second time it's done that today. S-data key equals data. Hurrah! And I was explaining about the lazy init, which is an idiomatic type thing from the standard library. I can't know if this is initialized or not with an empty struct. It's not going to be, and so I can just do s.lazy init here and not have to worry about providing a constructor func that people might not call. Right, so here we go. Let's store get key. Let's just copy the thing. Yank. No. There we are. Pop, pop, pop. Gotcha. Right. Oh, you need to return nil here. And here we're just going to return. No, we're not. The thing at I. Oh, this is going to be fun. Have I backed myself into a corner? So we marshal into and out of JSON here. I may have backed myself into a slight corner. Fantastic. We can back ourselves out of this corner, but this is why we mess around with these things here, where we've got very few things relying on them, rather than later on when the world is tied into this. Okay, very quick rewrite. How are we going to do this? Various things going through my mind here. I wonder. Let's just wait. I mean, we can test this. We can easily test this. So let's do a lazy init. Let's try doing I equals the pointer of s dot data. Oops. D is s dot data. Key. I is equal to the address of. That's not going to work because I need to dereference I, but I is not a pointer in this. Arg. We'll just go the JSON route. So we'll store everything as a JSON document, same way as we did with S3, which is now making me think. No, I don't need to abstract that out. But I do think we can turn around and go. Okay. So we can have a JSON store. Which is going to struct isn't going to do much, but it is going to have a backing store. Just do it like that. It can be the same as the locking store in terms of what we're doing. And I'm going to change the interface That's what I'm going to do. So I am thinking on my feet here because stuff. I'm going to say that the store is only going to deal with strings. So I don't need that key data that way. And it's going to return error string. Right, let's have a look at this. So I can now change this to be a setter. So we can set that in there. The getter becomes get data back from the store. That becomes like that. This now can now become a get setter. All the way around with the semantics. So let's get and set in the store, so that becomes a setter, and that's actually just put them the way around so that everything's in the same order that I'm defining it, because I'm like that. Right, so the store has changed somewhat. From the backing store, and the setter interface, setter types, setter data into the backing store. Right, delete that. So my locking store now becomes get setter, and is going to have a get put them in the same order. So the one good piece of things, at least as far as Alex is concerned, is that I may have uttered some words under my breath earlier on in the stream when something went horribly wrong, and there's no way you would have heard them. So hurrah! That needs to be that. That becomes a string. There we go. That. Return nothing. Blah, 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 blah. The store is locked while being accessed. Put data into the store, and the store is locked. Way too many C's. That and that and that, and we are string. Cool. That's sorted. We know that's failing. This is now get dun, 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 dun. That's going to be a string. No, it's going to be data. No, it's get. Wake up. That's going to be string. Thank you. So once again, I should be pointing out that this has kind of cropped up because I wanted to do some testing, and I may have sat around sort of undetected for a while if I hadn't have wanted to do testing, and then we'd be in a lot of pain. trying to change things. As it is, it's nice and easy to change. So get data, the in-memory store, and that's now set data into the in-memory store. Fantastic. So that's all that sorted. That should actually be called a memory rather than a store. Refactor rename memory. And then let's change all of these. Refactor rename all receivers M. Marvelous. So we can just go. Doesn't really matter which one. So we can just turn around and say that our store is a new store memory. We're going to be using the empty instance, we're not going to initialize anything in it. I'm going to store set, a key and a value. Look at us. And then we're going to print out get. Oh no, we can't do that. V that is equal to that. Okay, and there we go. So what we should be seeing here is V. Oh, of course, because this is not going to compile. Stupid compilers wanting compilable code before it will run. Get rid of you as well. There we go. That's Chris is asking, are single letter variable names a rule of Go or a convention? Idiomatically, they're a convention. So the single letter variable names next to the function receiver are almost always single letters. And then the single letters with variables, if you're doing stuff with it really close to where the function to where the variable set, then it can be single letter. Otherwise, it tends to be longer. But you can think of the M here as this, effectively. Java this, not JavaScript this. It is predictable. So that all worked. So our locking thing, we've now done a get and a set. We need to test it. So we can do func example locking get, and here we need our store to be store dot locking, and we want to put our get set of that to be I think a better name now that it's get set as. We're going to call this. What are we going to call this? Which we're going to call it backing store. Let's be explicit about it. I should have refactored that and renamed it, but anyway. There we go. Why are you not liking that? Have I messed up my... Get set up. Memory store is, all pointers, but that should be fine. Set is to key data and Why are you complaining? But it implements that. I have the confused now. That's an interface, that's an interface, that's an interface that implements both of those. Have I done something dumb on my locking? It is a get setter. Which implements get the string. Oh, I am a doofus. Let's try that way around. There we go. Much better. I got my arguments the wrong way around because I'm clever like that. What are we doing? We are setting something. So we're going to set our key and our value, and we are going to get something. So value is as.get key, and again we're just going to want some output of. Okay, if we actually print the output. Kind of should have spotted that there, but yeah, such is life. I'm going to claim I'm not awake today. Yeah, I'm really not awake today. At least we proved the test is running properly. Right, so that's the example locking thing in there. We can add some other tests in a bit just to see what's going on. So the idea is that we can wrap a store with a locking type thing in order to single thread access to stuff. And now that stores are sending strings around, we need to do something that allows us to handle JSON. So what we're going to do is we are going to have a JSON store, which is going to be an interface, and it's going to implement what we had before. Actually, I might call this. Do I want to call it document rather than JSON? We'll call it JSON for now. Converting them to strings for the backing store. So that doesn't actually need to be an interface anymore. That can be a struct. That's going to have a backing store. Setter, backing store. Is that my autocorrect or my bad typing? And did I do the same with locking? No, I didn't do the same with locking. There we go. So this becomes very much like the locking store. So that one. Store. Did Jason give his permissions to be handled? You have to bear in mind that I work with someone called Jason, and we do stuff with the internet. And of course, I'm Dom, so we have Dom and Jason dealing with Dom and Jason and Shadow Dom, and but hopefully our new hire YAML is going to stop confusing things. That was a very lame attempt at humour for those who didn't get it. Dun, 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 dun. Set. Yoink. Yoink. Actually, we are going to need that. But it's going to be J. That's the best joke in months. I honestly, it's it says something about. I mean, if it's my best joke in months, I mean, it just says something about my my ability to joke. If it's the best joke that we've had in the group for months, then there is very little hope, and we should probably just invite Chris Allwood. No backing store. I'm just thinking that this needs to be better named. Thank you. This out of here because it's no longer to do with the memory stuff, and it is actually to do with this stuff. So here we can return no backing store, and here we can return no backing store. And then what we need to do is so the JSON store is actually going to match a different interface. It's going to match the original thing we had. It's like that, and it's going to have a interface there, and we're going to come in via the JSON store. So there we can just return that. So now we can that's equal to packing store dot get for the key, oops, and not equal to nil. Return. Alex actually lolled, my god. And there's also a discussion about the Spanner Club. I'm guessing some people have been made moderators or somewhat on the Google chats. I don't know. That's my job is to sit here, bash at the keyboard, type code, and talk rubbish. Alex's job is to run everything. Oh, incidentally, Alex is run ragged at the moment and has had to produce a new Patreon slide. I don't know if you noticed when the stream started. There's more people on there. We're running out of space on that slide, so if we get, I don't know, 3 or 4 more Patreon supporters, Alex is going to have to completely redo that slide, which will make him even busier, which I think is just going to be hysterically funny. So let's troll Alex and all sign up. if nothing, just to turn him slightly more insane. It's worth the money, trust me. Where are we going here? We're going to have an else in here. Alex puts a deflated face. Jason, what are we doing? We're doing an unmarshal into I with these things. These things. And we should be good to go. And then this is going to be a similar thing. So we are going to am I going to marshal? No, I'm not going to marshal them. I don't care. I don't understand here comes the Java comment that Alex has made. I'm sure it'll be explained. Hi. We can Marshall Jason. Oh, Marshall and annotations and stuff like that, yes. I've managed to block all that from my memory. Actually, we don't. Yes, JDOT back install. Set key string B. Return nil. No. So that's that done. So that allows me to get Jason from a backing store by. Nope. This is going to allow me to set. I never know whether to call them types or objects or what. They're not really objects. Marshing to JSON to storage. Right. So our S3 store actually becomes slightly simpler because this can now have set net and string error and a get. Let's just swap them around as well. You may not have noticed I think I was being quiet when I was doing this before. I'm swapping them around just so they're in the correct semantic order. Because I'm like that. So get data from S3. Spelling. And this is now going to return string. Did I mess up that last interface? Yes, I did. So we do care about this. We still care about this, but we don't care about this. We want to return buffer.bytes. Nil. All that can now be handled by the JSON-y type thing. Similarly here, I don't care about this. All this. What I want here is data. And now we have no references to JSON whatsoever in my S3 doodad. Okay, so I can now do a quick test of the JSON store. JSON test. Let's put that in the test package. Example. JSON store get, and here we're going to do s equals JSON store with a backing store. We're just going to use a memory store for this because that's all we need. Nice and useful for testing. And then we are going to s dot set under my key, and I need something to set, so I'm going to have should we do something slightly more complex? Let's actually make sure this is working nicely. So we're going to have so in is equal to struct ek. I may have to initialize them up there. How annoying. Oh, let's just do standard strings. Need an int, we can just pass that straight in. In. Don't care about the error. And then we are s dot get pointed to out. Out, and that should give us in. Okay. So everything under there, nope, should be reasonably well covered. 74.2% coverage, just from the examples we've got in. So we could add more tests to handle basically just the error states. For the moment, I'm not going to. Like I say, we've got the other thingy to handle that. For the moment, we're just going to turn around. We're going to go. Number 13. Improve store semantics. And we're also going to add memory, JSON, and locking stores. Commit that in. And then we can go to our GoBot down here, which is going to be whinging about this. So what we need to do now is so tempted to call it BS for backing store, but I'm not going to. So this is going to be a JSON store, and it's going to have a backing store, and that backing store is going to be a locking store, and it's going to have a backing store, and that is going to be S3 dot whatever we got, AWS.S3 with the settings like this. There. Don't really need a var on there anymore. That can be like that. We can take this and yank it there. Concerned as to why that isn't a... Oh, because it just doesn't do pointer functions at all. That's why. So now this has a backing store, and we are good to go. Do our settings get used anywhere else? Yeah, they do. So we do need to do that. Right, so that should still compile, because our JSON store exposes the old API, but now be single-threaded because we're putting everything through this locking store. So we've basically nested our stores and provided a wrapper around our S3 store. Now, excuse me, the linter is probably going to complain massively at me because I've updated some stuff. Let me just go take my old Go base linter config. Let's take you and shove you here. That should make the linter slightly happier. Otherwise it would have been complaining about a lot of stuff. Undefined store.provider and actions more.go, of course. So we are going to have to change that. That's fine. So shove you in there, shove you in there, shove you in there. It's not a get setter. It's a JSON store. And it can't be nil because it's a struct. It can be empty, but that's not for us to deal with. Cool. So that's now no longer required. Is that, do we have tests on more? No, we don't. We call that now backing store. The internet will be less annoyed with me. Compiles, yay. Oh. No. Just no. I mean, I probably could set them all to run parallel, but I can't be bothered working out whether they can run in parallel or not. Right, a few other things. So that should have set document in S3. Locking.set should be in the form set. On the store. Retrieve. Why does my dictionary have... Go to the ultimate arbiter of spelling. Right, why is my dictionary not complaining about that? I don't see it in there. I may have to go have a look at the backing dictionary file and see if they've got a typo in it. Non-wrapping doodad. Yes, very much so. I don't know why. I did not use my %Ws there. That should be everything. Whoa. There we go. So I mean, we're building that coverage up slightly more. So where are we? This and this are now using providers, get setters, whatever we want to call them. That's going to be fixed as well because it's going to handle the logging stuff. And then the rest of this is linter errors. Let's just make sure it is just those. Excellent. Number 13. That's not linter errors. That's the complete right for. Wait for JSON store. And then the rest is linter errors. Commit, that's at the top. Going blind. Okay. To give it a few. Close the branch. Come on, nice and fast. So we've now got backing store in there. That's just that little thing to the link. They're all fine. That's all fine. That's all right. Doesn't look horrendous. That looks fine. That doesn't look horrendous. That looks fine. That looks okay. That died. We don't care about that. And that's the new doodad. Excellent. While waiting for that to build, there was a comment the other day about goats. Although there has been an update since then, because goats now has a logo. Hey! I just happen to like the logo, so I'm showing it off. I suppose the bot needs the logo as well. Speak to Andy about that. Why you have not built, you're still running. About a minute ago, so I've got about 30 seconds left on that. And then I think we've got time to put in a basic HTTP server. So I'm actually going to add that as a thing on as a separate task to what Alex has asked for, because we're not going to be able to get all of Alex's tasks done today, and I don't really want to conflate the two things. The HTTP server is required for what Alex wants, but it's not part of what he wants, if that makes any sense. So we need to... there's an O. There's a sad O. Is that O? we're not going to get your stuff in there today. We might do. We'll see. Basic HTTP server. There's some important endpoints we need to put in, like ping, so that the load balancer and everything can handle it. If I have a load balancer, we'll have a load balancer. I'll work out the cost somehow. Okay, so that's all built, so we can approve, merge, and we can leave that. I don't need to do a release of this one, mainly because Alex's bot can no longer attack my bot, so we won't see that bug happening. Right, that can go. You're number 15, so get done. So there's a couple of things we need to do here. First of all, we need an HTTP server. That nice and easy to sort out. We also need to expose some ports. Do we have a preference for a port number? YouTube, because I run everything on 8080 and 8000, and it's very confusing because 8080 looks like 8000 and everything's running on the same thing. So if anyone has a favourite port number that we want to use, speak now, or we will always... Oh, and Chris is complaining about my use of Bitbucket. I moved to Bitbucket when Bitbucket had pipelines and GitHub didn't, and GitLab sucked. And now I'm kind of stuck with Bitbucket because I also use it for work. So, 443, why? Why? The load balancer will be on port 443, but I'm not putting my thing on port 443 because then I've got to run it as root. Anything under 1024 is privileged. Above 1024, please. Because nothing, the load balance will do this. This is for the Docker image. I'm not doing HTTPS with this. I'm going to do HTTP offloading of the load balancer. Oh, do whatever way you like. I hear that a lot. You will speak to port 443, Alex. Because you'll be talking to the load balancer, which will do the HTTPS. I'm going to do the HTTPS offloading at the load balancer because I don't want to have to deal with HTTPS on the bot. But the bot will need to run on a port or listen on a port. So don't worry about where you want to listen. Just, does anyone have a favourite 4-digit port number? Chris wants 1337. Yes, because we are all leaked. Absolutely. Right, so we're going to need to copy some stuff from places. Because we will. Right, so we're going to want a server. New directory. Right, for the internet, if you're not reading the chat, Chris's PIN number is 1337, his bike clock PIN is 1337, and his phone PIN is 1337. I'm guessing his password is also capital P, arsword 1, exclamation mark. Because that's what we all do. Did I actually create a directory? I don't think I did. Or did I? Yes, I did. No, I didn't even. Going insane. Right, so the server is going to need a listener. It's going to need a router or routes. Don't allow. Actually, for 1 hour. Oh yes, we're going to want some endpoints. So we're going to new directory. Or should we put them under the server? Let's put them under the server. Endpoints. Right. So our listener is going to listen. It's going to listen on a port. That's going to be an integer. It's going to return an error, and we are going to do HTTP listen and serve. F comps D port nil. And that will block. So I could do listen and serve TLS, but like I said, I'm not messing around with HTTPS certificates and all of that gumph. It's much easier to do it all at the load balancer. That's going to want a router, which is of type. That's actually a handler. So HTTP.int handler, and then we can just pass that in, and all is good. I may add other things, which is why I have a function there. We shall see. Right, we now want groups, and that is going to return a HTTP handler. Oops. Like so, and then we need to go find a cheat sheet somewhere. Where is the most recent place that I have done this rubbish? Bum 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 bum. Think. Actually, I may have some examples in here. Nope. Did I not put any examples in this thing? In your own time. Thank you. Well, that was useful of me. Absolutely useless. try not to show a whole bunch of proprietary stuff, but this should be okay. We've got a server here. Here's our router. And yeah, we can do this. We don't need all of this, but we can do bits of stuff like this. So here's one I did earlier. Right, so I'm going to cut and paste this, and this, and this, and actually I'm just going to take it all and we will deal with the fallout when we paste it. So this actually now becomes router, and then roots is going to be a separate file. So has to be, well, it doesn't have to be, but error is a reserved word. So idiomatically is the error variable. And you get used to reading it. And you end up with variables that don't shoot across the page. Wrong. Right. So I was just answering Chris's question. He was concerned about the variable name lengths. I must admit I either go very short or descriptive, depending on if it's close by and kind of obvious or not. Cookie can now be done in... No, I don't even need cookies. Right, so I need some security settings for... so I've got this idea of limiters in my HTTP package that basically just stops you from spamming an endpoint. Don't want that signatory. Don't care about those. My signatory is going to be those. I guess. Sync that in. My laptop is going nuts at the moment because it's just pulling in and indexing a whole bunch of packages as well as running OBS. And the config is probably from the wrong place. There we go. I don't care about roots. We need something else that looks like roots. Go for roots. I'm just going to stick interface here for now. It needs to be something else, but there's my roots. So we've got the security setting in there. Don't need to do that. Where's that handler coming from? It's coming from there. The redirect handler just redirects somewhere else. We're not actually going to do that. We're going to do a 404 there. So I'll worry about that in a second. You must be a That's an interface. New signatory, and we want the let's just copy the settings from this. Uses the same. It uses the same pattern. Hash key, block key. We don't need those, but we do need session TTL timebox and the limiters. Let's take those as well. That and that. Thank you. And shove that in my config here. It's all going to start getting quite complex for configuration. Add those in. Stub is going to be oops. So what's going on here is I've got what version of Go Configure are we using? I've got a bunch of stuff that already does what we need, so I've just yoinked it into here, and it has a whole load of configuration that uses my bog standard configuration package. I don't understand why that's not coming in. 153, I'm sure that's the latest. Where do we need to be? We need to be here. Doink. That one. Well, that's fun. Let's go secure 153. Dumbass. Go configure 0.4 and 142. This is going to break the world. Let's just do that and actually do this properly rather than go away. That's better. Or is it going to break the world? No, it's not. It's 0.4 that broke the world. So that's now working. I shouldn't need to change any of these. So the limiters take details about how often we want to allow people and how many times we want to allow people to try stuff. Security is not going to require a hash key and a block key. It's just going to require a secret. Secret is used to generate tokens. So we get rid of that. Yeah. Spell correctly. So basically, if you start the program up with the same secret, tokens generated by the program previously will still work. If you change the secret on startup, then they get expired and won't work. And this sanitize function just basically puts out values for set and unset rather than spamming out things like your secrets to the log file, because that would be stupid. So that's those set. There's my router. Settings needs to actually have security in it. So let's security, and then that could probably go now, because that can now be that. Yep. We'll go configure itself, and that'll report itself. There's a reason why I have modular configs like this, because I have so many things that use this type of thing, and it just makes it easier to use them between projects. At some point I might even group them up into a package themselves. Alex is saying there is a middle ground between Java and a single variable. Maybe. But idiomatically, and especially with your function on your when you're hanging functions off struct, idiomatically it is single letter. The rest, knock yourself out. I mean, it's up to you. Right, our settings are done. You're all happy. So the user limiter just basically makes sure that a user is not doing things over and over again, and then the session, this limiter is making sure that you're not getting a hit from the same source over and over again, and it will send out the correct error code for spamming things too much. Right, so middleware and the authenticator, so we've got signatory, settings.secret, security.secret, it should be happier, not happier. What else do you want? Oh, TTR. I need to put that on here. Oh no, that is already there, session TTR. Oops. Why are you still whinging? Different signatories. Interesting. Let's just comment you out. You out. I might not have done the nope. Type on you. Dun 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 dun. Session.signatory. Must be a new signatory in there. Sorry, bear with, it's been a while since I've played with this stuff. JWT signatory, and let's just fill in all the fields. There we go. So that can now be this one. Problem is that I'm halfway between migrating from one package to another. All good fun. Method, I think that's the signing method, and it will default if I don't set it. So we can kill that. Cool, and then all we need to do here is unauthorized. keys. Pretty sure this is just going to call the deny handler. It does. Did I not write? Oh, it's an authorized dot handle, that's why. Note to self. Write docs. Cool. So that will do the thing for authentication. So we've got a secure router and an insecure router. So the secure router will require a JWT token to be set in, and all right, we need handlers on here, and the handlers from, let's go pull that from where we were before. Boom, boom, boom. Not there. From here. Router. This is it. Take both of those. Actually, they're going to be in the roots. Now here we can use handlers, and here we can use handlers, and here we pull in our correct config, and that just allows me now to pass in settings into something that will return an HTTP handler function. All is good. So we now want to define our routes, which we just set as one of those. Okay, fine. Why can you not? Method handlers. Oh. No. They've got, oh, it's a map string handlers. What have I put? That's better. Right. So this string is the path. This string is the method. So that's now going to go around correctly. Okay. Now we can define some routes, and I can pull a whole load from here, because there are some key routes that we are going to need. We're going to need a ping, and we are going to need a coffee. What's router doing in there? I have no idea. Right. Coffee endpoint, very important. Where does the log come from? The log comes from there, which I'm not going to So I have this returns an error, and I've got a handler that just logs that out. I might just need to grab that log handler for now. Yeah, let's just grab the whole thing. Let's build an HTTP server with Lego. Handler, yoink. So all this is doing is the handler takes a message. Here I have a channel that I'm making, so Go channels allow you to send messages to things. I pull up the conversation error type and pass it in a channel, and then in the background I run a thread that just listens to that particular channel and prints out the error and returns the handler. It just means I can handle asynchronous logging from endpoints. So let's put in the correct log type for that. There we go. It just means that errors get put out as they should. And ping similarly. Nice and simple. Oh no, we do need to underscore those. Otherwise it's going to whinge. So we can then turn around in our roots. These are going to be here we're going to have secure, which is going to be map string handlers, and here we're going to have insecure, which is map string handlers. And then here we're going to have get, in fact, method get. Yes, it's then going to have a another set of, what do you want here? That's a set of handler. No, handlers, which is a map string handler. And then here we can put our roots and our types. So Bing goes endpoint dot ping. And coffee. So we've got no secure roots at the moment, but that doesn't matter, because we need to put in a login function and rubbish like that. Why have I called that endpoints? And let's fix that right now. Endpoint. There we go. Right, that's the router setup. So our GoBot no longer needs this. Just thinking about the visibility of this. now we want to server dot listen. What's running there? Server dot listen. Wrong server. Too many servers. And that now needs a port, which we need to shove into the config. For now, we'll hard code it, and server dot API. Cool. No. API servers, there we go, and let's put name in there, let's see if you like that, that's better. What are you? What format package have you pulled in? Thank you. So Rexted, I don't really care. So I've never been able to get the server to die. I think if you send it Control C, perhaps it does. But it'll block. The HTTP server blocks. And what we probably want to do up here is just make a mention that we are listening. So there we go. That should be a basic HTTP server up and running with it. I'm just thinking about how to test this thing, because I don't want to try and connect to Discord because I've already got a thing running on Discord. Decisions. For now, given the time, change that to an error so the program doesn't exit. I'm not going to give it a Discord token, and we should be able to this. Watch it fall over in a crumpled heap. Oh, you're wanting config. Bot requires a Discord, of course it does. What should I call it? What's the config? Name. Oh, it's got to be in an environment variable. Not far at all. Too much go. Oh. Why are you not picking that up? Into the config. Settings. Gobot Discord token. Let's have a look at the Gobot. That should be fine. That should be fine. If the first didn't succeed, comment out the offending code. Too much stuff. Too much stuff relying on the fact that we've got things in the background. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to release it. We'll check in the logs and see whether the HTTP server's started. We won't be able to hit the HTTP endpoint because I will need to open up the port. Might be able to do an HTTP only. Let's have a think about this. You do startup, you do configure. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. Now I'm gonna have to rejig this to make it more individually runnable. So yeah, let's just make sure it builds and compiles and it's all good. Yes, they probably should. Right. I don't care. I need to pull this out and yeah, basically modularize it, which is why I end up with this pattern of things configuring themselves and things reporting themselves, because you just end up with loads of little bits of stuff. So I'll pull AWS and all that onto its own thingy another time. Router, yes. Roots. API to be defined. API for the HTTP. Unnecessary leading, yes there is. Right, you need a doc.go in endpoint. You need a doc.go. Let's try that again. So this is this lot. I should just do the whole thing. Add. Commit. Contains a warning. That won't do. Unused dependency. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, I think I might have actually made Go Secure completely deprecated now, which is good. Everything's now in Go HTTP, just needs documentation. Just reuse the previous commit. There we go. Yoink. So we still need a login endpoint, which will then return a JWT token for Alex to use. They're easy enough to implement. But that'll be next week. I need to sort out the bot so that we can test the HTTP endpoint without actually having the bot running per se. So perhaps we need the ability to connect to not Discord and just connect. So the way we had it on week 1, where it just connects to standard in and standard out, may need to do something there so we can then actually just run the tests. And then some way of configuring whether it's talking to S3 or whether it's just going to talk to that in-memory doodad. So that, again, we can just test things locally and not have to worry about firing the whole thing up. A lot of this code was cut and paste, so it's should be good. The next question is, does the bot have HTTP endpoints? Does it have access from the internet? Probably not. Might not be able to test any of this other than just checking the log files to make sure that it's listing. And then next week we can do a little bit more. Alex is asking, WTF is funneling. It's the length of the function body. It's too long. Idiomatically, all the linters in Go have crap names. So they just do. Sometimes functions end up being long, and there's very little you can do about it realistically. So I'll just turn around and say ignore this function. Other times it's a sign that you need to modularize things and what have you, and in this case I do actually need to modularize the stuff, but we've run out of time. Well, not quite, but by the time we've pushed this we will have run out of time. I am aware that yet again I could actually produce something that just falls flat on its face when I push it out to the Discord server. But if that does happen, I'm not going to fix it. We will save that for next week. Well, I'll probably work out what's wrong with it and then save the fixing for next week as well, because this is a journey and you're all on the journey with me, no matter how painful it gets. While we're waiting for all this to do its thing, we should probably mention the standard YouTube/internet things with the I mean, technically clicking of like buttons, but apparently now you have to smash them. I mean, if you've got a MacBook Pro, then perhaps you could force click it rather than just clicking. I don't know how one smashes a button, but whatever, smash the button. Alex will put, or has been putting, links in the chat about our Discord server where you can come and hear me talk rubbish about a whole wide array of stuff, and hear other people talk about sensible things. We have the Patreon, which is how we afford to do stuff. A lot of this is done with the kindness of people's hearts. So, I mean, this bot I'm going to be paying for. We've had Minecraft servers that people have set up. There are people who boost the Discord server for us. All kinds of things. And there's things like our Zoom meetings and what have you. Don't come for free. We have to pay for them. So if you join the Patreon, you can help us run and help me continue whittering on at you every Wednesday. Go to our website, nor.dev is probably the easiest way to get there for all the events that we have coming up, because there's a whole bunch of fun things that we have lined up. Not just me every Wednesday. There's things we have generally every other Thursday. We have a guest speaker come in and talk about really cool stuff. We've had some very, very interesting talks this year already. Oh, and this Thursday, if you come and join the Discord, we're going to be having a watch party for the Mars lander, where we hope that their code is better than my code, because we want to see this thing land and do stuff rather than not land and not do stuff. So I've just completely forgotten what the version number was. In fact, I didn't even check. Not 1.5. Doink. v0.1.5. Create that tag. We're on the Twitters. I think we've also got Instagrams and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't do Instagram. But we're at Norfolk Dev, if I remember correctly, on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter for whatever reason, I'm at Don Davis. Although I'm generally more active on the Discord because it's just where I tend to hang out these days. I want to say thank you to Alex for helping to set all of this. Did I say 60 characters long? I said 60 lines long, surely. Sorry, I'm just reading the YouTube chat. I know I've got things to whinge at 120 characters long and 80 characters long, but even I agree that 60 is too short. But I think it's 60, might be 30 lines long. I don't know. I'll have to look at the config. But anyway, yes, thank you to Alex for sorting out all the back end stuff. He's the one that does all the work. I just rock up and tap away at the keyboard. Oh, Alex is happy to confirm that we do not have Instagram. Hashtag no filter. Hashtag good. Hashtag. Won't fix, can't replicate. So this works if you are on a wider screen, which I can't share because my laptop will just melt. It says, Don, turn up your mic. But as it is with those of us on normal Mac screens, which are a bit smaller, it's and Alex is getting very overexcited about the version. No, that was a while ago. I was going to say, it's like I didn't tag that one, Alex. That's why it didn't go out. I just built it. I do like that uptime though. The fact that we've been up for 167 hours, 3 minutes, 31 seconds, and however many nanoseconds. I might change the uptime to be slightly less accurate, To the nearest second would probably... Alex wants to do the more thing. You can do the more thing. It works. Yeah. At some point the bot's going to go away and come back. And the more thing should still work. If it doesn't work, then we've introduced a bug. I love the fact that I've implemented a counter and everyone's really excited about the counter. I'm probably going to have to leave that in as a feature. And it's an unsigned 64-bit int, so it's going to stay for a long time. That went live, so we should be going. Hi, Cody. Right, to this we can answer a question. So the reason why we have 2 bots on there is right. The reason why I got 2 bots on there is because in the back end, Fargate is spinning up a new instance and then making sure that instance is okay before taking down the old instance. What I should probably do is put in something to mean that the old instance no longer responds once the new instance is up. So I could probably put a little thing to look for what's going on. So actually the race condition I fixed today may not have been the race condition that Alex was seeing. However, it doesn't matter because there's still a race condition there. But anyway, the bot works. We're running. I haven't broken anything, and if I no, I've overrun too much and I need to go look up passwords and stuff. But next week we'll go check the logs and just make sure that the HTTP endpoint is there and it is all working as we expect. But for now, people can go off and more. And Alex, remember, your event bot is a bot, and I don't respond to bots anymore. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next week. Now let me go find OBS and stop the stream.